And obviously the Air Force Academy Falcons, the aggressor here early on, as they've had a couple of attacks on the goal, one shot being taken. As here come the Falcons. Looks like West Point will be putting the ball in play. We have a very special guest appearing in the booth, a gentleman I had a chance to talk to over the baseball season, as a matter of fact. And it is a pleasure to welcome the Director of Athletics for the United States Air Force Academy, Mr. Jim Knowlton. Mr. Knowlton, nice to see you again. I think we saw you over on the baseball field a few blocks away here. Nice to have you with us.
It's great to be here. What an environment tonight. You can't find a seat. People are standing room only, and this is the kind of environment it should be when we play another academy.
Well, now you're in it. You've been the athletic director here at the academy for about 5 months, and now first season, how's it been going for you, sir?
Phenomenal. It really has. I don't think my feet have touched the ground in 5 months, and I feel like everywhere I look, we've got great things happening, great people. Our cadets are first class in every way, and I couldn't be more excited.
I believe we are going to have a corner kick by Army just off to the right side there. Season opener against Army, and this is the second year in a row that Air Force has opened with a Service Academy opponent. These games have a different feel than some of the others that they normally play.
Well, I think the special thing about the academy is, we really recruit the same type of young men and young women, and I think that, they're always competitive. There's never a battle between academies where it really isn't a competition, and they all leave it out there, and then after it's over, they shake hands, and they're brothers for the next 364 days of the year.
Now we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the ladies. We've had a tremendous crowd here for the men's game, and as the athletic director, how much fun is it to watch the cadets compete in this environment on the ladies' side of the pitch,
phenomenal.
I would say.
Yeah, phenomenal. And as you know, last week we beat Denver for the first time since 1999, and what was amazing is the crowd was similar to what we have here. We had a great turnout. The cadets were absolutely excited, and as you know, when you're playing and there's that kind of environment, the adrenaline gets flowing, and I think that helps you win. I think that helps you, that may be worth a goal even. So yeah, we're excited. I love to watch both of our, all of our teams play, and so when you can have an environment that makes it exciting for them, it's special.
We've seen a lot of support not only from the cadets or the cadet athletes, but how important is it for the cadets to root for their fellow brothers in the sports?
No, it's phenomenal, and what's nice out here is you see lots of cadets, you see lots of our intercollegiate cadets, but you see all of our cadets are out here, and I'd love to count the number, but there's at least a quarter of the wing that's out here right now supporting these two teams. So yeah, it's exciting. I'm really pleased, and I'm sure our cadets who I just talked to before the game started they are pumped because of it.
And I believe we have a penalty kick coming for the Air Force. We had one of the players go down, and then we should be getting a penalty kick here. Let's see who'll be taking it for the Falcons. And it looks like Ryan Ward and Trey Puyatz might be lining up. And it will be Ward who gives it a ride, but it's a little bit high. I know you've been extremely busy the last several months, but some of the key initiatives that you've been working on, sir.
Well, we started out by really looking at our organization, and we've been integrating the AFAC, which is our 501c3 that allows us to generate revenue for the athletic department. So we've fully integrated them. We've moved a lot of offices, and I think that was a huge step. And I think now everyone knows who they're working for, but they're also located where there's some synergy, and all of our budget folks are together, and everybody is working in the same area with their counterparts with the AFAC, and I think that's important. We've had some nice initiatives like Falcon Fuel, which is an initiative that we started regarding nutrition. And so we started with our 1,000 intercollegiate athletes. That was how the initiative started. And I went and talked to the super, and I said, ma'am, we've got 4,000 elite athletes. We should be doing Falcon Fuel for every one of them. And so we did. Outside of every weight room, there's 3 or 4 very large special refrigerators with nutritional information on each of the products in there, and they're filled with chocolate milk and pre-workout drinks and post-workout drinks and fruit and power bars, and really we have seen the cadets absolutely love it. And they're grabbing something before they work out, something afterwards, and when we looked at it, we said there's not many college students who are as tired and as overworked and really stressed in a good way, like our cadets. And we need to have nutrition at the top of the list to help them perform at their best.
Air Force Academy Athletic Director Jim Knowlton, our guest here in the early going. Final question, sir. With all of these sports, 27 intercollegiate sports, how do you get out to see all of them?
You just try not to sleep very much. Today was a great day because I talked to our football team in the morning, went to our volleyball game later in the morning, and now I'm here at an academy soccer game, and that's special. It doesn't get any better than that. So and as the AD, I don't spend a lot of time just watching the game. I spend my time
And we've just had our first strike of the match. Air Force goes up 1-0, I do believe. I think it was just a very close shot. I heard a roar go up, and I thought maybe the Air Force Academy had made the first strike of the match, Mr. Knowlton, but apparently that was not the case. But a little bit of drama here in the middle of our interview here.
It's a good way to start the game, and I'll let you get back to watching the game so our fans know what's happening. But I really appreciate the opportunity, and anytime I can talk about what we're doing in our athletic department, it's special. So thanks for your time, and hopefully we take care of business here tonight.
Sir. Yes, sir. Athletic Director here at the United States Air Force Academy, Jim Knowlton, thank you for stopping by. As we had a little bit of drama here in the early going of the match, thought maybe we had our first goal, but we have got some excitement brewing here as Air Force has been on the attack a lot of the time. And as we have just completed almost 9 minutes of the match, we are still scoreless. A quick look at some of the numbers. Air Force with 3 saves. They've had 1 shot. Obviously 1 save for Army as well. They have taken 4 shots on goal against the Falcons. We should have a corner kick coming here. This will be Marcos Arroyo who puts it in the play. Ball coming up the pitch and out of bounds. And Army should have the throw-in. The throw-in goes to Kristen Olin, who tries to dribble around. Defending him is Trey Puyats. Sending the ball up the pitch to Tony Black. Black sends it downfield into the left corner. Little bumping and banging going on. Gee, did we expect any of that tonight? Absolutely. We were going to see a lot of intensity as these two teams open the season in what might be considered game of the year number 1. Of course, when you have an intra-service rivalry, these are always big indeed. Tucker Axhoy with the dribble as he comes across the pitch off to the left side of the West Point goal. Here is Gus Jensen, who fires one off to the right side, and it will be out of play. Nice to have you with us on a gorgeous Saturday evening here at the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Be interesting, as we mentioned before, about the crowd count. School record being, I think, slightly over 3,200. And, of course, no surprise, it was against Army. Army coming on the attack on the backside of the pitch. Ball being headed upstairs. Now being banged by Spencer Goldstein. Ball goes out of play, and the official will give it to Air Force. Ben Kern with the throw-in. Falcons hoping that they can find a way to get that finishing kick. They were in very good position to get into the Western Athletic playoffs, but then on the stretch dropped 3 of their last 4 to be eliminated. As far as the Black Knights are concerned, they made it to the Patriot League playoff for the 2nd year in a row with a record of 6-8-6. As you see the time remaining here in the first half of play, Black Knights of Army on the attack, but we will have a foul called, and that'll bring the ball back. And it should be Air Force that will put it in play, and indeed they will. As it looks like Gus Jensen will be the one that triggers the attack, or maybe it'll be Tucker Axhoy. We'll wait and see here. Air Force trying to position themselves. I think they had very, very close to getting the first strike of the match. Will be indeed Tucker Axhoy as he sends it towards the West Point goal and is picked off by Chris Brett.
Shot attempt by number 6, Gus Jensen.
Gus Jensen being one of the leading scorers for Air Force last year. Gus had 3 goals and 3 assists for 9 points. As a matter of fact, he did lead the team last year. Army in possession of the ball, taken away. Here is Tucker Axhoy. Tucker sending it to the right side. Britt goes up. It's over and off to the right. Well, how big is the crowd tonight? Well, they're starting to ring the field. It's an SRO crowd, folks. Any place you can grab either a seat or a piece of pitch, that's exactly what you're going to be sitting on tonight. Want to welcome some of our viewers, not only in the U.S., but Libya, Switzerland, Brazil, Bulgaria, and India. Welcome to a huge match tonight as we are 7,000 feet above sea level here at the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. Nice to hear from the folks in Brazil. That sport's a religion. I'll tell you right now, if you haven't had a chance to see South American soccer, either live or on television, it's crazy. And Brazilians know how to party. You probably noticed that in the World Cup. His ball is being headed out now by the Air Force Academy. In fact, there's a takedown. And I think the officials is going to say play on. Oh, my. Well, all right. It was inadvertent, shall we say. Here's a feed into the deep pitch with Army on the attack. Ben Kern on the defense. And Kern goes down. Fans want a call there. And I think it might be safe to say, speaking of the officiating crew, Chris Levesque will be the referee tonight. Ryan Bailey and Mark Chuna-Rigby make up the rest of the crew. They will be the referees, side referees, if you will. John Wendt will be putting the ball in play. Sends it high and deep to the Army side of the pitch. Ball being headed up in the air. Here's Christian Clark. They try to penetrate the Falcon defense. This is Cameron Dooley who kicks it out off to Kern. Kern sending it up ahead. Taken away. Marcos Arroyo. He goes down, as you saw. Black Knights trying to get some offense going right now. Army on the attack. They try to send it deep. Little double team taken away, but now taken right back by Nick Williams. Nick Williams with the dribble. Giving it off now to the right side to Alex Clark. Alex on that right side. Is he still on sides? It's going to be taken away by Air Force now. Air Force, there's Tucker Axhoy. Sending it down to A.J. Esparza. Headed up by Army as they clear out and try to reload offensively. Kristen Olin. Sending it back to Marcos Arroyo. Across the pitch to Tony Black. He'll come up the left side. As we mentioned before, these two teams meeting for the 27th time. The series goes back to 1959. Not a real good pass by Air Force on that, and Army taking advantage. Taken away by Cameron Dooley as we'll have a stoppage of play, a handball being called. Nice to have you with us on the Mountain West Network, our opening broadcast of the 2015 season. It's nice to hear from fans around the world. Obviously, a few Academy graduates from both schools being stationed in some of those respective areas. Kick will be coming by Army. Let's see who will be making the strike. This will be Marcos Arroyo, waiting for the rest of his teammates to deploy. Arroyo sends it and hooks it just to the left of the goal, and Air Force will put it in possession. 17 minutes gone here in the first half as Army and Air Force do battle on a packed house and then some. Might have to have a few of them sitting on a fence the way this thing is going. So, see some of the crowd there. Some of the Falcons. They're part of the cadet wing. Right now, what they would really send them over the top is if we got a strike by the Falcons to go up 1-0. But here comes the throw in by Army. No substitutions as of yet, as both of these coaches keeping their starting 10 out there. The ball going out of bounds. Throw-in will come in by Air Force, and this should be Ben Kern putting it in play on the far side. Lobs it in. This is going to be Tony Black who retrieves it, and it goes out of bounds. And we should have a foul called here. Number 6, Gus Jensen, who led the team in scoring last year. This is Tucker Axoy, and I believe he would be putting the ball in play. From the corner, sends it out to Gus Jensen. Gus with the dribble on the right side. Feeding it off, and the shot blocked by Army. That was Trey Puyats who let it go with the right foot. Good block by Army to deflect that one out of play. And it will be a corner kick as Air Force will be putting it in play.
Corner kick by 21, Tucker Axoy.
Tucker Axoy will be sending it in just to the left side of the West Point goal. Here comes the kick, headed out by Army. Air Force trying to reload. Here is Ben Kern. He'll take the ball. Feeds it off to the left side to Cameron Dooley. Back to Kern. Being defended by Kristen Olam. Olam takes it away. They are really pinched in that corner, and they send it into the stands. It should be Air Force ball. Luke Villamaria getting set with the throw in for Air Force. Finding an opening. This is Gus Jensen. Jensen sending it back to Kern. Kern trying to center it to Puyats. Here is a takeaway by Nick Williams. Nick Williams being ridden hard by Cameron Dooley. Right back now to Cody Gary. Gary sending it off to a teammate. They send it downfield to the left side. This is going to be Kristen Clark. Clark as they try to center. It can't be done. With the dribble now is Shabana Abbasad. Abbasad trying to get something set up. Cleared out by Air Force. Falcons coming out on the attack. Kicked away by Tony Black, and it should be the Falcons' ball. A little bit of excitement in front of the Air Force goal, but as we've been talking about, one of the strengths of this team and one of the themes that Doug Hill is talking about, the head coach of Air Force has been talking about, it's been the defense, as you see him there on your screen. That's the Air Force Academy head coach, Doug Hill. Here is Army on the attack once again. They might have a man open on the right side if they can find him, Alex Clark, but we'll have a stoppage of play here, probably a foul called. Injury timeout. And we have a player down. So while we have that, we will tell you that you are watching Air Force men's soccer on the Mountain West Network. Almost 20 minutes gone here in this opening game at Cadet Soccer Stadium here at the United States Air Force Academy. Getting word that Australia has just joined the broadcast tonight. So I will do my best to say good day. Here is a long downfield kick, goes out of play as Air Force will get possession. The stoppage of play, Cody Gary apparently suffered a minor injury for Army and was assisted to the sideline, but said, "Coach, keep me back in there. I'm not going anywhere. Get me in this fight." So they have sent him right back in. Again, as we take a look at some of the statistics, Air Force was 6 shots on goal opposed to 2 for Army. Here is a ball that is headed out by Army. Army on the attack. Now Air Force tries to take it away. Here is a long Pass going down, looking for number 17. That is Nick Williams. It will go out of play. And we should have a throw-in. It'll be done by Alex Clark. Bruyette's clearing it out for Air Force. Army once again on the attack. This is Joey Haug with the football as he comes upfield to Tucker Axoy. Tucker down the left side of the pitch. And a sliding tackle by Marcos Arroyo gets the ball out of bounds. Nice play defensively by Marcos Arroyo. Throw in coming to Army. Christian Olam. Send it back to Tony Black, who will dribble it up the far side of the pitch. Army setting up that defense. Air Force with a little bit of pressure on that D. There's a tackle. They want a call made, and probably will get one here. That'll be a foul. Army will reload and come on the attack once again. Alex Clark split wide to the right side of the pitch, and Tucker Axoy going over to try and cover him. Army, here's Cameron Dooley who takes it away. That kick was blocked by the Black Knights. Kern with the football. And Army coming back on defense. Here is a long boot. Oh, Axoy, was he there? He was onside and just couldn't pull the trigger. Oh, he did call an offside. Okay, that looked a little too good to be true, and Tucker Axoy will be whistled for the offside. He was wide open and maybe just a wee bit too wide open, if you will, as the flag went up by one of the referees on the side. So Army will reload and come on the attack once more. We are still scoreless. Almost 24 minutes gone here in the first half of play. I'm Jeffrey Orman from Cadet Soccer Stadium at the United States Air Force Academy. West Point and Air Force. Here come the Black Knights with the dribble up the pitch. They try to send it over here to Cameron Nickham. Nickham's going to try one. I think that was partially deflected by Air Force. Headed out. And this is going to be Trey Puyats who tries to get things going for the Falcons. Ball goes out of bounds, and it should be the Falcons throw in. Ben Kern will be putting it in play for the Falcons. Kern sending it to the left side of the pitch. This is Haug. Back to Axoy. Tucker with a dribble. Villa Maria. I beg your pardon, AJ Esparza. Sending it down to Kern. They may have an attempt here. And ball is kicked into the hands of Chris Brett, as it looked like Air Force had a chance to get another strike on the board. But instead, Chris Britt coming out and making the play for Army. Black Knights with the ball. Christian Olam sending it downfield to the left side of the pitch. This will be Cody Gary sending it back. Getting word that our broadcast being picked up in France. Bonsoir. I'm going to be showing off all night here, guys. There's Army with the football. There's Nick Williams, cleared out by the Falcons. They send it high and deep. Chris Britt coming out. He'll send it up the pitch. Here's Cameron Nickham. Nickham, long downfield's kick. Can he find somebody to get it to? Headed out by the Falcons. This is Ben Kern, as he is being guarded by Shaban Abusad. Headed out by Air Force once again. We've got a Falcon and one of the cadets of Army tangled up, and they will play on. There's a, oh my. Marcus Arroyo with a little bump out of bounds on one of the Falcons. And I think the official got involved as the official's having a little discussion with Trey Puyats. The first substitution of the night for the Air Force Academy Falcons. This will be Abinadai Samayoa, a young man who was on a 2-year Mormon mission and came back to the academy. So he'll have his first look at this intra-service rivalry. Nice sliding tackle and a nice defensive play by Army. It's an offsides call. Kind of hard to see some of the side referees with this crowd all over the pitch here from Cadet Soccer Stadium. Sit where you can, folks. Here's a long downfields kick. It'll be headed out by Kern. This is to Haug. Army returns the favor. Number 13, Christian Clark sending upfield, but Air Force coming right back. Sending it deep down the pitch. Headed up in the air, and coming out will be Britt to make the play for the Black Knights of Army. Rolls it into play. Cameron Nickham, as Army will set their offense. Long downfields kick to number 21, Cody Gary. Gary being double teamed, looking for some room to dribble. He's on the right side, tries to center it, taken away by Tucker Axoy. Falcons will send it downfield. Army getting it right back, reloading and coming on the offense once more. Marcos Arroyo sending it to the left side to Tony Black. Black sending it up the pitch. Here is Joey Haug making a play. Ball goes out of bounds. And it will be in possession of Air Force as you see Ben Kern preparing to throw the ball in. 31 minutes gone here in the match, and as you can see, we are still scoreless. Here comes a throw in. It's headed up in the air. We've had a collision between the fact we got a player down for Air Force, and that was on the header. Let's see if we can pick up who that was. We'll take a timeout as they've been asked to stop the clock. No score between Army and Air Force. You're watching Air Force Men's Soccer on the Mountain West Network. Joey Haug was the player shaken up for Air Force. Once again, welcome back to Cadet Soccer Stadium at the United States Air Force Academy. Army and Air Force opening night for both of these football teams. Soccer to you, Yanks. Ball going out of play. And a handball being called. Get a chance, we will remind a lot of folks that we'll be having a few more of these broadcasts here on the Mountain West Network, but the Air Force Academy goes on a very long road trip. As a matter of fact, how about all of September? Here's a kick from the right side, booted out by Army. Air Force reloading, coming on the attack once again. Here is Trey Puyats. Trey trying to dribble through the defense, decides to send it back. Here's a long downfield kick, headed out by Army. Once again, Air Force trying to reload. This is Luke Villamaria. Villamaria to Tucker Axoy, right side. They might try to head it out of play. And I believe that was Trey Puyats that headed it out. We're going to have a substitution coming in for Air Force.
Substitution checking in number 5, Oscar Chacon.
Oscar Chacon checking in for Air Force. And here comes Britt to kick it out for Army. 31 minutes gone here in the first half. Player going down for Army. That is Cody Gary. Luke Villamaria said, I didn't touch him. I think the officials are going to let the lads play tonight. Ball headed up by the Falcons. They're looking for a foul, and yes, and I think they just got one. couple of the West Pointers trying to plead their case, trying to sell the referee tonight, Chris Levesque. He says, nah, that's a foul, boys, and it's going to go to Air Force. And Luke Villamaria will send it across the pitch. It should be to Kern. Kern off to Puyats. Looking off to the left side now. This is Axoy to Villamaria. Sliding tackle being made by number 6. That's Christian Olin who breaks it up. And it will be a corner kick coming, and Tucker Axoy will be putting it in play. This is going to be for Air Force their third corner kick or fourth corner kick of the match. Axoy sends it high, headed out by by Army rather. They've been doing that very well this evening. Made some big plays defensively. Here is a long shot to Britt. Long kick, and Britt going high to pull it down for Army. Chris Britt, 6'5", 200-pounder from Mission Viejo, California. Up the pitch comes Army. We are still getting it's been a physical match, folks. Make no mistake. I think the fans have, wanted to see a few more fouls. I think we've had one penalty kick, if I am not mistaken, in this match. I think this is what everybody expected coming into this match tonight, as Ben Kern sends Chris Olin to the pitch. And we should be getting a corner kick by Army. It'll be Marcos Arroyo who will be putting it in play for the cadets of Army. This will be their fifth corner kick of the match. Marcos Arroyo getting set to put the ball in play. Here we go. Headed high. Headed out by Air Force. Right back to Army. Arroyo with the dribble. Being ridden by Gus Jensen. Arroyo still with the dribble on the far side of the pitch. They try to center it. Cross kick. Nothing there. And instead it is going to be number 17, Nick Williams, who tries to clear. But boy, he's in a bit of a pickle as he was double teamed by a couple of Air Force defenders. Oh, yeah. Little bump, little shove. How you doing? You know, that type of thing. Luke Villamaria and Nick Williams getting a chance to know each other. Corner kick coming by Army, and this will be Marcos Arroyo. And he should be on the left side. Arroyo will try to perhaps slice that ball to a teammate. Sixth corner kick coming for the Black Knights. An opportunity to perhaps get the first scoring strike of the match. Here it comes into play. It's headed up. It is headed out. As we are coming inside 10 minutes of the match, as you see on your screen. We have some substitutions coming in, I do believe.
Checking in number 9, Christian Lou Young.
Christian Lou Young coming in for Army. And another corner kick coming for the cadets of Army, as you see number 7 checking into the match for Air Force. That is Tucker Bone. Got a lot of preseason play in their exhibition matches with Denver University and School of Mines. Here's the ball headed high up in the air. This is going to be a wild one, and coming up to make the play is John Wendt. Wendt hooks the ball up as he goes in traffic. He plays with a little bit of abandon there. Here's Gus Jensen down the far side of the pitch. Coming in to try to make the tackle, Christian Clark. Air Force in possession of the ball. They are onside. Cleared out by Army. Again, Air Force turned away at the gate. Army coming up the pitch now. Sending that ball back. Being very deliberate on the offense. Here comes Spencer Goldstein. He told you he is one of 2 Colorado natives on this club. Spencer from Littleton, Colorado, just up the road from us here to the north.
Earlier substitution for Air Force, Force. Now in the match, number 7, Tucker Bone.
Tucker Bone, as we mentioned, also checking in. He is a freshman from Granite Bay, California. Got a lot of playing time for Doug Hill in the preseason, so he'll probably get his minutes on the turf for the Falcons this year. The Air Force Academy going 1-2 in preseason play, losing their first match to New Mexico down in Albuquerque. Here's Tucker Axhoy with the dribble. Air Force attempting to tackle. Oh, nice little wraparound body action there, and we'll get a foul called on the foul situation, if you're wondering. 7 fouls for the Falcons, 8 for Army. And they will get an opportunity from the right side. Let's see who will be putting it in play. It appears that number 12, Marcos Arroyo, will be the man. He seems to be the guy that the Black Knights will go to on the corner kicks. And also an opportunity to get something going here with the foul. Looks like Army has got many of their offensive players just to the right of the Air Force goal. That's where they want to send it. Headed out by the Falcons. And it will go to Christian Clark, who comes on the attack and puts it out of play. Air Force with the throw-in. Want to say a special hello to our friends in the United Kingdom who might be joining us, I think, tonight or Saturday night in England. Had a chance to see a couple of Manchester United games this week. A little intense. We welcome you. We welcome all of our graduates, all of our viewers from around the world who are watching this very big broadcast tonight between Army and Air Force, the 27th meeting between these two schools. We are scoreless, as you can see. Ball is loose. Army comes up with it. I think Alex, if I saw that number correct, we might have a gentleman who snuck in. Yep, he did. There's number 8 coming into the screen for Army. That is Alex Yarasak. First time we've had a chance to call his name tonight. Army attempting to set up an offense. Am I hearing a vuvuzela out there? That's it, you're out. Didn't we get enough of that in the World Cup in South Africa? That's crazy. All right, here's Went as the ball goes to the left side. Air Force will get possession of it. Just under 6 minutes left to go in the first half. The shots on goal, Air Force 7, only 2 by Army. That should tell you what kind of a defense the Falcons have been playing this evening. That's been pretty much the tale of the tape last year as well. You are looking at John Wentz starting in goal as his 3rd start of his career for Air Force. Appeared in 6 games last year. Both of his starts were last season. Sending it back to number 23, John Went, left-footed boot. Headed out by Army. That's Ben Kern with a touch. Marcos Arroyo doing battle with Gus Jensen. Here comes Army. This is Kern. Taken down by, looks like Marcos Arroyo. Army will get possession of the football. Number 13, Christian Clark, putting it in play. As they will attempt to set up their defense. Long downfield kick taken away by Air Force. Stolen right back by Army. This is Christian Olam with the steal. And the ball being booted out of bounds. That will be by Christian Lu Young, a freshman, plebe if you will, from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Army trying to find something on that offensive side, but it's taken right away by Air Force, and here they come. They've got the up-tempo game going right now. Sending it on ahead. Tucker Axor, here comes Britt, who comes out to make the play for Army. Less than 4 minutes left to go here in the first half. One thing you can say about this game, it may be scoreless, but it has been a bit physical. And the referees have decided to let it go. John Went will send it out here to Trey Puyats. Trey sends a long downfield kick. This one almost came into the booth, folks. I was expecting our director of Falcon Vision, Brian German, to do a header, but we might have had to revive him, and he might not have come back to us for several days. Those things are hard. I'm telling you, we don't want a concussion for our director here. Here's a strike, and saved by Brett off of his hands, and he'll cover it up. The strike was taken by number 11, Luke Villamaria, and Brett making a great play in the goal for the Black Knights of Army. That's about the closest thing to a score that we have had in the match, and for Air Force, that's their 8th shot. Just off the hands of Chris Brett. Air Force on the attack once again. Downfield. Everybody's onside, and ball will go out of play. As Tucker Axoy, Alex Clark were in pursuit. Chris Brett, I think, has... It's still early in the season, and obviously you know he's got to be feeling the pressure, filling in for Winston Bolt, who graduated this past May, 2nd Lieutenant Christian Bolt. Career leader in shutouts at West Point with 24. That's some big shoes to fill. Also the goalkeeper of the year the last 2 years in a row in the Patriot League. Here's an opportunity for Army going down the far side of the pitch. Number 17, this is Nick Williams. Williams trying to get the ball centered. Kicked out by Air Force. One of the players going down. A little bit of, I dare say, maybe a touch of histrionics there. Black Knights still in possession of the ball. They're trying to turn the pressure up a little bit. Pick up the tempo just a wee bit. They've been fairly deliberate. Now they're deciding to pick it up. Hooks the ball off to the left side. Oh, my goodness, that was a bit dangerous, as the kick by Cameron Nickham was deflected off of the foot of one of the Air Force Academy Falcons, and that was heading for the goal, but it goes off to the right side. We will get a corner kick coming. And no surprise, it'll be Marcos Arroyo who puts it in play. You see him teeing it up there on the right side. Time winding down. Here's the high kick. It's going to be long, and it's going to be flagged down by Air Force. Now taken away. Here come the Falcons up the pitch. They'll try to send it downfield. And Brett's coming out. He kicks it out of play. Interesting situation there, as Chris Brett took a little bit of a gamble coming out of the goal, but was able to boot it out of play. Air Force reloads, comes on the attack. This is Kern trying to center it. Cleared out by Army. And we have 8 seconds left to go. Up ahead, number 9, Shaban Abasad, and I don't think that's going to be the end of the first half, as they tried to get Shaban Abasad to maybe get the final touch. And at the end of the first 45 minutes of play, no score between Army and Air Force. You are watching Air Force Men's Soccer here on the Mountain West Network.
When I chose to go to the Air Force Academy, people asked if I was going to be a pilot. Sure, I could do that. I can also be an engineer. I can be a doctor or a lawyer. I can work with missiles or satellites. I can become an astronaut, a Rhodes Scholar, or a 4-star general.
We're good.
I can be an Olympian, or even a national hero. So yeah, I can be a pilot. At the Air Force Academy, I can be anything.
Let's get out of here, Coach.
Of all the game joints in all the towns in all the world, they walk into ours.
Yes, ma'am. We're just going to go ahead.
It's too early, Coach.
That's perfect.
You know what I want to hear, Sam.
I don't remember it, Coach.
Just play it, Sam. Play it.
Yes, Coach.
Welcome back to Cadet Soccer Stadium here at the campus of the United States Air Force Academy. I'm Jeffrey Orman. Army and Air Force scoreless after the first 45 minutes of play. And on this opening night, it is a pleasure to welcome the Superintendent of the United States Air Force Academy, Lieutenant General Michelle Johnson. Ma'am, we just had Jim Knowlton up here a little bit earlier. It's been a busy time for him. And some of the things that he's been doing, he's been a very busy man indeed.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can see the results tonight. What an awesome showing for the cadets and the fans for this great Army versus Air Force soccer match. But he is lighting us up. I like to say that the Academy is in motion, but our new AD is like on a rocket. And he's doing it with the cadets. All 4,000 of our cadets are athletes, and he really gets that. And they just inaugurated this Falcon Fuel program to help our cadets with their workouts, to make them sure that their nutrition is great, but also they can really capitalize on what they do, and usually using science for it. And then externally, our facilities, to make sure we can bring up to speed the blue and silver, looking at Clune and what we do down the road and the different sports facilities all across all of our sports, intercollegiates and intramurals. And he's just a phenomenon. We're so lucky to have him on board.
This is the second time in a row that the Air Force men's soccer team has opened with a Service Academy opponent. It was Navy last year. Let's talk about that as far as not only the games and both schools trying to win. What does it mean as far as leadership and some of the, shall we say, other things that go into a match like this?
Well, these matches with the other service academies really are the peers. I mean, it doesn't matter what division, what sport. These are people who are going to serve their country in uniform, and the goal setting, the teamwork, the playing hurt, the working together to be able to take failure with some grace, but the grit to go back out and win again, that all carries over. I know I was a basketball player when I was a cadet, and I also flew big airplanes with big crews, and I found a lot of transfer from that teamwork you get on the friendly fields of strife transfers right over into our military careers. And our athletic director played hockey. We've got a lot of us with experience, not just in intercollegiate sports, but intramurals, or, like I said, every cadet's an athlete. So we all have some grounding in this. And then on the dark and stormy night, that comes to the fore.
Lieutenant General Michelle Johnson, Superintendent of the United States Air Force Academy, is our guest at halftime. General, you just touched on something very, very briefly, talking about how this develops character. Let's kind of touch on that a little bit more. Athletics, how does this help with the development of officers in all of our service academies?
Well, practically speaking, obviously, training, planning, executing, assessing, these are the business of any kind of operation, whether it's a military operation or any other way. So they're learning how to do things, but also to find within themselves that toughness that may come to the fore when they're tested sometime, and when they're in harm's way. And so the friendly fields of strife, is a quote from MacArthur when he was at West Point. It really does apply. And again, just this idea of knowing your role and having a sense of purpose. And everybody has a common purpose. And so I'll use a basketball analogy, to know sometimes you need to take the shot, sometimes you need to make the pass, and maybe sometimes you need to sit down and let someone else do it, because really all you want to do is fight to win.
All right, now I'm going to ask you being a former athlete here at the Air Force Academy, your summation of the first half between Army and Air Force here in this opening match.
It's tough. I think the guys are going to have to pull out a little extra toughness this second half, and maybe let the altitude help us too. But I thought our guys, we had more shots on goal, the skills. I think if they keep playing this way, some of those goals are going to find the net.
General Johnson, thank you for stopping by.
My honor.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks a lot.
Lieutenant General Michelle Johnson, Superintendent of the United States Air Force Academy, our guest at halftime. We'll be back with more when we return right after this. You're watching Air Force Men's Soccer here on the Mountain West Network. Welcome back to Cadet Soccer Stadium here at the United States Air Force Academy. I'm Jeffrey Orman. We want to take this opportunity to thank two of our very special guests, the Director of Athletics here at the United States Air Force Academy, Mr. Jim Knowlton, and the Superintendent of the United States Air Force Academy, Lieutenant General Michelle Johnson. Well, in the 43rd minute of tonight's match was probably the closest thing that Air Force had to scoring the first goal of the match. and it came off the foot of Luke Villamaria. Watch the save by Chris Britt. Gets away from him. Tucker actually trying to move in for the finish, and it was rather Zach Hill trying to go in for the finish. Not to be, and that's about as close as it has been for the Air Force Academy tonight. A great play by Chris Britt, starting his first game in goal for Army. Let's take a break. We'll take a look at some statistics when we return right after this and get ready for the second half of play between Air Force and Army. You're watching Air Force Men's Soccer on the Mountain West Network. Welcome back to Cadet Soccer Stadium here at the United States Air Force Academy. I'm Jeffrey Orman. A quick look at the statistics as Air Force out shooting Army 8-5. Corner kicks, Army has 7, Air Force 3. 1 save by John Wynn of Air Force, 4 by Chris Britt, including 1 in the 43rd minute as he was able to stop a kick there. Lost control of the ball, was able to fall on top of it for the save. 4 saves, as we mentioned, by Army, 1 by Air Force as far as the foul situation, 9 by Air Force, and 6 by Army. As we're getting ready for the second half kickoff, we thank you for watching our coverage of Air Force Men's Soccer on the Mountain West Network, powered by Campus Insiders. And we thank you, all of our listeners from around the world, a lot of graduates from both the Military Academy and the United States Air Force Academy stationed around the world serving our country. We thank you for watching us this evening, and more importantly, thank you for your service. Air Force taking the field. They'll be moving from left to right. Army starting to huddle on their side of the pitch, and we'll be ready to go here for the final 45 minutes. As we told you at the top of the broadcast, Army and Air Force played to a scoreless draw in 2 overtimes back at the United States Military Academy on Clinton Field. And so far, the script is being written about the same. The closest thing to a strike coming from Villamaria in the 43rd minute of the first half, which Chris Britt made a couple of nice plays on. We'll kind of check out the starters as we pick them up on the fly. It should be Air Force to start the second half as they are set to kick off. And here we go with the second half of play. And just like that, the ball going out of bounds, and it will be thrown in by the Black Knights of Army. It's off the chest of number 9, Christian Lou Young, who will get a start here in the second half. Here comes Air Force. Christian Clark playing a tough defense. Cleared out by Army. Now the Falcons on the attack as this ball will go out of play. Quick throw in by the Cadets of Army, and we might have a little bit of a stoppage of play as somebody gets his left shoe adjusted. And that appears to be Cameron Dooley, who's getting that tire replaced. Now here comes a long throw into Ben Kern. It's headed out by number 16, Zach Hill. Back they come. Britt will kick it out for Army. And the Black Knights attempting to come on the attack, but it's taken away by Air Force. Up ahead they go. This is Trey Puyats with a dribble. Puyats sending it over. This is off to number 7. Here's a shot on goal, and it is wide to the left, and for the second time, Zach Hill being turned away as that ball just went to the left of the goal. Zach Hill trying to get the first score of the match by Air Force, not to be. And for the Falcons, that is their 9th shot on goal as Army reloads and comes on the offense. A little bit of pressure defense being put on by the Falcons. They'll send the ball downfield. Cameron Dooley sends it up for the Falcons. Army taking it right back. This is Alex Yaroshak. As we said, we'll try to kind of pick up everybody on the fly. Ball being put in play now by Army as we are just underway here in the second half of play, about 2.5 minutes gone. Luke Villamaria will send it back to John Wendt. Wendt sending it up to Villamaria as they spread the offense a little bit. Up ahead on the pitch. Ball being knocked about by the Air Force Academy Falcons. Army trying to take it away. Again, pressure defense being put on by the Falcons. And they get the takeaway. This is Trey Puyats on the left side. Kicks it high. Headed out by Army. They've been doing that very well tonight, playing some very good defense. Have the cadets of Army. Well, that one got away, and it goes right into the foot of number 7, Tucker Bone, headed out by Army once again. Another frustrating moment now for the Falcons. Ben Kern now takes it off on the right side. Nice dribble, sends it to the left side. That's going to be long and just to the left of the West Point goal. I think the fans were looking for a foul on that, or not on that particular play, but previously, shall we say. Chris Britt putting in play now for the Black Knights of Army. Sends a long downfield kick, headed up by the Black Knights. Number 14, Cameron Dooley, has it on the backside. And he will send it up ahead. Scramble for the ball. Puyats has it. Trey, and we will have a whistle and a foul. Army gets it back. Quickly puts it in place. Sends it up to Christian Clark. Christian being defended by Bone. Send it back on the far side of the pitch to Tony Black. Army being very, very deliberate, being very patient with the offense. Again, this is a team that's made the playoffs in the Patriot League the last 2 years in a row. Here they come on the attack, looking for an opening strike here, and this kick is long by Christian Clark. And Air Force will get possession of the ball as we are 5 minutes gone here in the second half of play, coming up on the 6-minute mark. And John Wendt will put it in play for the Air Force Academy Falcons. Here's a long kick. Army trying to head it out. Now they have possession of it. Send it to number 19. This is Spencer Goldstein. Colorado youngster trying to find a teammate. Christian Clark, I think, wanted to send it downfield, but good tight defense did not allow that to happen. As here is Cameron Dooley. He's being worked on by Nick Williams, number 17. Down goes Williams, and Cameron will probably get called for the push. Yes, he will. And it is going to be Army with a chance here on the left side of the Air Force Academy goal. They've just got a yellow card. I think it was issued to number 14, Cameron Dooley, who methinks protests too much. And the referee, Chris Levesque, said enough of that, and out came the card. Marcus Arroyo, no surprise, will be putting the ball in play, trying to either try a cross kick or perhaps center it. Army loaded up on the right side of the Air Force Academy goal. Arroyo with the kick, headed out by Kern. It's up in the air. Anybody's ball, headed up by Air Force. Somebody better get back there, and kicked out wisely by Kern. That was dangerous, and Ben Kern not only sent it out of the field of play, I think he sent it out of the stadium, but a good heads-up play by Air Force defensively. And the throw-in comes in for Army, as you see the time remaining here in the second half of play. Number 13, Christian Clark, kicking it out.
Army West Point substitution, checking in number 3, Tommy Yeager.
Tommy Yeager
Substitution, checking back in
now
number 2,
checking into the ball game checking into the match, I should say, for the Cadets of Army. Tommy is a first-classman, 5'10", 165-pound senior from Centennial, Colorado. As we mentioned, we had a couple of Colorado lads on the club, the other one being Spencer Goldstein. And probably they know each other quite well from some of their high school encounters on the pitch. Here is Army on the attack. Air Force clearing. Army really threatening here. Kern dribbling to the right side. Air Force trying to get something going as they're on the attack. Army with a tight defense. Really riding hard. Puyats can't get it done. Army takes it away. Oh, the defense has been solid for Army tonight. Cadets have played very, very well defensively. Air Force reloading, trying to get that first scoring strike of the match. And this ball is kicked high, deep, and gone. And no, you don't touch all the bases in this one. But well hit, good long shot over the fence.
Air Force corner kick by number 2, Joey Howe.
Joey Haug will attempt the corner kick for Air Force. As you see the crowd seated on the ground. That's been the kind of crowd we've had tonight. They'll try to hook it in play. Headed out by Army. Ben Kern, right side. Trying to set up. Kern sends it in. Headed up. And it is going to be Chris Britt who says, everybody clear out. I'll take it from here. So Britt will come out and put it in play for the Black Knights of Army as he hooks the ball in play. Boy, defense has been the story of tonight's game, no doubt about it. Here is Tony Black. Sending it down to Marcos Arroyo. Arroyo up ahead. And he's onside, and there is the kick, and it is wide right. Nick Williams letting it go. Off the right foot. And John Wendt will put it in play. Intensity level appearing to pick up here in the second 45 minutes. As we're about 9 minutes and 15 seconds gone, coming up on the 55th minute of the match. Here is a ball headed out. Here is Air Force, double teamed by Army. Down goes a cadet player for Army. Nothing whistled there, no reason to be. Here is Army on the backside of the pitch, trying to get out of danger. Have a man open on the far right side of the pitch. Sending it up ahead. Air Force now regaining control, and now Ben Kern will come on the attack for the Falcons. Sending it up to Tucker Bone. Taken away by Army. Cadets of Army battling back. Picking up the tempo just a wee bit as they get in front of the goal. Here is a feed, and they try to center it back. I'm not sure. I think it was an offsides call anyway, so now Army gets it back. The intensity level for the Black Knights really picking it up for the Cadets of Army. But both of these teams have played very solid defense and have frustrated one another, turning each scoring attempt away at the gate. Long downfield kick. Army in possession of the ball. Can they do it? Here is a kick towards the left side. That's going to go out of play. Coming up on the 56th minute of the match, and as you can see, we have no score. Air Force with 9 shots on goal, only 3 by the Cadets of Army. 3 saves by Chris Britt, and John Wendt with only 1. And John will put it in play. John with his 3rd start of his career, appeared in 6 games last year. Army with the football as they work their offense. Up the pitch they go. This is to Christian Clark. Clark with a dribble on the right side. He's still onside. Clark getting it once more. Kicked out by Air Force. And here come the Falcons. Oh, boy, there's a nice takedown. Official says play on. Should be a foul. Will be a foul. That will be for Air Force. 12th foul, 11 for Army. And you might hear the cadet wing across the way. You can't do that. I think you hear that cheer in every sporting event anymore. Here's that Trey Puyats will be putting the ball in play for the Falcons. Sends it deep. Headed out by Army once again. Here's Ben Kern. He tries to head it to a teammate. And Chris Britt will flag it down just to his right. And West Point will come on the move once again. Inter-service rivalry. You heard Lieutenant General Michelle Johnson talk about not only how big this particular match is, but what it does for them during their career, talking about the fields of friendly strife, referencing General Douglas MacArthur, who I believe is also credited with saying, if I want a tough mission, I want a West Point football player. I believe that's, you can kind of see that when you visit the military academy, which, if I may say so myself, if you have a chance to visit any of our service academies, if not all of them, you really need to do it. You really need to do it. It is very inspirational. Chris Brett putting it on player. Coming in now for Army, Cody Gary. He is a senior out of Garland, Texas. Chris Britt, who you see there in your picture. Sending it out to Tony Black. Black sending it downfield. Off they go to the left side. And Trey Puyats with a little bit of a shove on Cody Gary. We got another yellow card, and this one's on Gary, so we've now had 2 yellow cards administered, one for each side. This time, Tony Gary gets an earful from the referee tonight, Chris Levesque. A little stoppage of play as a result. But we will resume. So each team with a yellow card. And John Wendt putting in play now for Air Force. Great atmosphere here at Cadet Soccer Stadium. Why not?
Into the match, number 25, John Sims.
A substitution now coming in for Air Force. This will be John Sims. John, a sophomore out of Colorado Springs. Prepped at Air Academy High School just down the road. It's on the base here at the Air Force Academy, not very far from here. Ball headed out and goes out of play. Coming up on the 60th minute of the match, and nothing has been decided yet. Here is a little do-si-do between Puyats and Gary. Here is Army on the attack. They try to center it. Nothing there. Cleared out by Air Force. That was Christian Clark who attempted something there to try to get it in the middle. Marcos Arroyo has that ball taken away. Here comes Air Force. Cleared out by Army. Off to Kern. Bone will go down that right side. Let's see if they'll try to get it to him. No, I think they'll try to center it. Ben Kern setting it up. Now they indeed do send it down the right side. This should be to Bone as he dribbles near the sideline. Cleared out by Army. Tony Clark doing the honors. Down goes Kern. Gary sending it back. Black Knights of Army maybe a little bit too close to the pitch for comfort there as they try to clear it out, and they do so somewhat. Here's Puyats sending it up to Haug, and it is kicked away by Army. Another great defensive effort. Falcons trying to reload, Army trying to clear, and they do so downfield. A little bit of drama on that series. As we said, perhaps Army playing a little too deep in the pitch, on their side of the pitch, I should say, when they had the ball offensively, and Air Force trying to make them pay for that mistake. And Kern will put it in play now for the Falcons. Kern, a senior out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Here comes the throw in, headed out by Army. Here's Gary. Gary lets it fly, but just not lined up quite properly as he sends it just to the left of the Falcon goal. Have another substitution coming in. I believe this will be
Substitution checking back in, number 6, Gus Jensen.
Gus Jensen, who led the team in scoring last year with 9 points. Comes in, checks into the fray. And Army once again on the defensive side as we had a little collision between Puyats and one of the Black Knights. Army in possession of the ball. Again, deep in their own side of the pitch, trying to clear it out. Air Force takes it away. Here is Joey Haug trying to get something going. He tries to dribble through the defense, and Army says no way. Clearing it back out. Christian Liu Young kicking it out. Army in possession, and here they come up the pitch once again. Yarashak sending it downfield. Taken away by Army. Kern being almost tied up. An attempted tackle. Kern gets away from that. Now it's Marcos Arroyo. He goes down. And they're going to say it's Army. It's going to be a foul on Air Force. Army will get the ball. Fans don't like it. They thought that Marcos Arroyo might have been a wee bit overly aggressive. And Chris Britt will put the ball in play as a result. 14 fouls called on Air Force, 11 on Army. And Britt will send it deep. Big crowd in front of the goal. Headed out nicely by Air Force. That was Zach Hill, I do believe. Here come the Falcons. Trey Puyats trying to clear it. Off to Ben Kern. Senior sends it upfield. Off to the right side they go. Here's an attempted strike. Another great block by Army, and I think somebody got a piece of it. Might have been Cameron Nickham. Tucker Bone attempting to get the first scoring strike of the match. But it looked like a great play by Cameron Nickham at 6'4", able to knock it out of play. That will set up the corner kick, and that'll be Joey Haug that'll be putting in play for the Falcons. 64 minutes gone in the match. We are still scoreless. Here is Haug, tries to center it. Taken away by Army. Taken away by Jensen. Jensen getting a little shove in the back. Jensen trying to dribble it down. Gets a hold of an Army jersey. Yes, son, that is a foul. And now it goes down to, well, let's see, we have, did we get a yellow card? I thought I saw the referee with a yellow card in his hand. Apparently not. Tommy Yeager pleading his case on something, and I thought I saw a yellow card. Anyway, we will play on as Chris Britt will send it in. For the record, Air Force with their 10th shot on the goal, Army with only 4. Britt with a high kick, almost goes the length of the pitch, headed out by Air Force. Army on the attack, sending it off to the right side. Trying to dribble off through the traffic. That should be Alex Clark. Ball will go out of bounds, and it is going to be Army's throw-in.
West Point substitution. Checking back in number 19, Spencer Goldstein.
Spencer Goldstein now coming in for Army. And I think he will be replacing Christian Yulung as you see Goldstein coming into the match. And it should be a kick coming by Army, headed out by Ben Kern. Big play there. Army trying to come back on the attack. Air Force with a double team, and they get the takeaway. Good defensive effort. Army trying to get it right back. Air Force still maintains possession. They're trying to center the ball. Army with another defensive effort, clearing it away. Looked like Cameron Dooley might have been plugging up the center of the line there, and they were trying to get the ball to him. But Army, as we mentioned, they have played solid defense tonight. Tommy Yeager kicking it up ahead. This is to Spencer Goldstein. Once again, we want to remind you that you have been watching tonight's match on the Mountain West Network, powered by Campus Insiders. Looking forward to a very exciting season of soccer and some of the other sports that we will be covering here at the United States Air Force Academy. Wentz sends it downfield. Headed in the air. Air Force on the attack. Haug trying to get something going. Cleared out by Army. Ben Kern with the ball, trying to center it. This is Haug, I think an awkward turnaround and tried to get a shot on goal with that left foot, but a bit awkward, didn't have a lot on it. And as a result, no problem for Chris Britt, who will now throw it inbounds and send it downfield to Tony Black. Black to Yarashak. Back to Black. And they'll send it back to their goalie, Chris Britt, trying to see how Army might be aligning offensively, who they might be trying to get that ball to. Pressure being put on by the Falcons. Christian Clark. Again, Army just maybe a wee bit too deep in the pitch for the liking of their head coach, Russell Payne. Now they start to bring it across. This is Alex Yarashak. Here they come now to number 6. This is Gus Jensen. Jensen on the left side. Let's see if he'll try to center it. Getting tangled up with one of the Black Knights. Ball goes out. Or did it go out? But anyway, Army in possession of the ball. Again, some very nice defense work being done by the cadets of Army. Here's Ben Kern on the attack. Kern will let it fly. It's a little too high. '64th minute of the match and nothing decided yet. Shots on goal, Air Force 12, Army only 4. Here is a long downfield kick by Britt. Cameron Dooley will head it over to Went. Went will set up the offense. Looks like he will throw it in. Air Force spreading that offense. Let's see who they'll try to get the kick into here as Wentz sends it downfield. High kick, headed out by Air Force, trying to reload. This is Cameron Dooley to Kern. Little tangle between the Falcons. That's Austin Dewing. Trying to center. Here's Kern. Kern, left side. See if they get anything going here. Cleared out once again by Army. Well, I'll tell you what, the deeper in the pitch that Air Force goes, Army is right there to turn them away. Nick them this time making the play. Here come the Falcons on the attack once again. Long down kick, and Kern says that's out of play, so Army will get a chance. This is Tommy Yeager who will be throwing it in. Yeager on the backside of the pitch. Army, or rather Air Force with a takeaway. Might have an opportunity here. Gus Jensen trying to line it up, and he just wasn't able to. Not exactly sure what he was doing there. I don't think he was setting up for a shot, but a nice block there. Jensen, and the ball will go back to Chris Britt. Have a player down for Army, but I think it's more of a cramp than anything else as he's pulling on his legs, and I believe we are going to get a stoppage of play. I think it's more of a cramp, more anything else. And they will stop the clock, so we will take a break as well. You're watching Air Force Men's Soccer on the Mountain West Network. Welcome back to Cadet Soccer Stadium here at the United States Air Force Academy. Jeffrey Orman along with you. You see the time, you see the score. Some near misses to be sure, folks, in this match, but excellent defense being played by both sides tonight. And for Chris Britt making his first start in goalkeep for Army, he's turned away 5 shots. And for John Wendt making his first start of the year in goal for Air Force, he's turned away 1. It's been the defenses that have ruled tonight, no doubt about that. Here comes Army on the attack, trying to send it up ahead. He's onside. Army Air Force double teaming. This should be Cody Gary. Gary trying to find an opening, and the ball will go out of play. Be a corner kick for Army. And should be Alex Yarashak who'll be putting in play, perhaps. Yarashak will not have a lot of room. He's backing right into the cadet wing. I believe that's who that is, if I'm looking at that number correctly. Here is the ball trying to be centered, headed towards a goal, and just over. So Army with an attempt to try to score the first goal of the night. Goes a little high. We'll have an Air Force substitution coming in for the Falcons. Austin Guerrero will come in and Joey Haug will come out for Air Force. Here is Wendt, who hits it high and deep. Headed out by Army. Again headed out by Army. Here is Ben Kern off the right side. Kern trying to send it deep. And another good play being made by Chris Britt as he elevates to make the play, all 6'5". Now Army will come on the move. Setting up. I don't see anything open, so they'll turn it over to Chris Britt, who will send it out on the far side of the pitch. Coming ahead. As they try to get a lead pass, ball goes out of play. It will go to Army. They'll get the throw in near midfield.
Army West Point substitution, checking in number 16, Brett Bisha.
Army substitution, Brett Bisha, fourth classman out of Boise, Idaho, making his first appearance. Here's Ben Kern. He'll send it downfield. And he is still onside and battling for that ball. It's Austin Dewing who has it, trying to dribble. There, and the ball is going to be kicked out. Should be a corner coming. As we are coming up on just under 15 minutes to go in the match. Let's see if we will get a corner. It looks like they are setting up for one, and let's see who will be doing the honors there. See if we can. Ryan Ward will be putting it in play for the Air Force Falcons. Ward backing right up into the cadet wing, which is seated on the pitch. Tries to center it. Kern trying to fire it, headed out by Army. Once again, Air Force being frustrated. Kern with a deep kick, perhaps trying to center. There is a sliding tackle. Oh, they had the opportunity. The shot was taken. I think it was Kern, but another great play by the goalie. Beg your pardon, it was Sims on the strike. Britt with the save. That's his sixth of the match. So close and yet so far. Well, I think Russell Payne and Doug Hill, certainly Russell Payne of Army, has to be delighted with the defensive efforts and certainly by the efforts of Chris Britt so far in this match. Here's Kern, sends it upfield to Ward. Ward getting away. He is on sides. He's on the right side. He's on the right corner, trying to set up. Army kicking it away. Ward going down. Fans wanted a call. Sliding tackle by Army sends the ball out of play. And it looks like throw in by Air Force. They try to center it. Little too tall. Air Force right here is Kern. And Kern lets fly. And Britt takes it down. It's his seventh save of the match for Chris Britt, the senior. And he hits it high into the Colorado night. If nothing else, it has been a bit physical out there, as you can see on this little exchange. We will have an Air Force substitution coming in here momentarily. Ball goes out of play. Let's see where they will reward it. I think it will go to the cadets of Army.
Air Force substitution, checking back in, number 16, Zach Hill.
Zach Hill coming back into the match for the Falcons. Zach Hill, a senior out of Rollinsford, New Hampshire. Army with the throw-in. Looks like Gus Jensen might be coming into the fray for Austin Dewing here on the next opportune moment. John Wentz scooping it up. Underhands the ball, and Ben Kern will try to send it downfield. And he does. Marie, I think, is looking for a call. Army back there to defend. Another good play by the Black Knights. Blocked out by Air Force. Throw-in should go to Army, I do believe, if I saw that correctly. Or rather, the ball will go over to Army, I should say, and Chris Britt will put it in play.
Earlier substitutions for Army West Point. Checking back in, number 6, Christian Olin, and number 10, Shaban Abusad.
Kristen Olin and Shaban Abusad checking in for Army right now, 6 and 10 respectively. Chris Britt hitting it deep into the pitch. I missed everybody. Army trying to get it. Air Force clears instead. Boy, Ryan Ward open on that right side if they can get to him. Dribbling through traffic is Air Force. Oh, a knockdown by Army, and we'll get a foul here, obviously. Let's see, it looks like Ben Kern will be the gentleman that will be putting in play. Perhaps, no. Little switch off here. Gus Jensen instead will be putting in play on the left side of the pitch. Under 10 minutes. We've just gone under 10 minutes here in this match. 80th minute, if you will. Jensen taking his time. Just wanted to see how his teammates will line up offensively in front of the goal. And Gus Jensen getting ready to put the ball in play. Here it comes. Trying to center. Headed out by Army. No surprise there. Puyats with the ball. Puyats dribbling on the right side. Trey trying to find an opening. Might have it here. Lets it go. Britt with another save.
Shot attempt by number 3, Trey Puyats.
Puyats with a strike. That is the 16th shot taken by the Falcons in this match. And Chris Britt, a busy man. He's made 8 saves so far in the match for the Cadets of Army. Once again, Army on the deep side of their own pitch, trying to clear it out, as they do have possession of the ball. This looks like Kristen Olin who sent it down. Throw in by Air Force as the ball goes out of play. Long downfield kick by Air Force, headed out by Army. Olin with the ball, out of bounds. As we have a full moon over the United States Air Force Academy tonight. You see it on your screen. Usually when you have a full moon, something strange is going to happen. So watch for it. Somebody might kick it into their own goal or something. Wouldn't that be something? After the way this thing's been going. Double coverage being put on by the Falcons. Tight defense, and I think did we have a foul called? We did. Ryan Ward. Yep, be on Army. As Ryan Ward will put it in play. See if he'll try to center this. Ryan Ward putting it in play now for Air Force eventually. Trying to see how the Falcons are trying to line up. Well, here they go. They'll try to center it. Head it out. Goes back deep into the pitch, and here comes Luke Villamaria, who will send it deep. Coming out is Britt. He punches it out. Air Force trying to reload. Army heads it out. Air Force coming on the attack once again. They come to the right side. Ward trying to center it in the center. Here's Villamaria. He fires. Britt is off the crossbar. Headed out by Army. Here's Puyats. Trey Puyats trying to send it over. Right side. Ward. Ward dribbling. Looking for an opening. Army clears. Oh, a lot of drama in front of that goal, and now we'll get a foul call. It's going to go on Air Force. The foul will be on the Falcons. That's their 16th foul. Heads up in the stands. The ball's coming to you. He dropped it. That's an extra lap. Army with the throw in. Oh, how many times has Air Force had those opportunities in this match? A bit of a break as that one hit the crossbar, but now it's Army's turn to see if they can do anything offensively. Army on the right side of the pitch. Sending it off to Cody Gary. I think he was trying a crossing pass. Instead it'll be John Wendt. Under 6 minutes left to go, as you can tell, in this match. Near miss would be the story of the Air Force tonight. Both teams playing good defensive football tonight. Over the head kick by number 8, Alex Yarashak. Another foul being called. Air Force doesn't agree. The referee says, referee Chris Levesque says, I'm in command here. And indeed, it will be Army that gets possession of the football. Tanner Vosvik, first time we've had a chance to call his name. Tanner, a junior out of Phoenix, Maryland. Tanner Vosvik sending it deep. Off the hands of Wendt. Can he save it? He can. Well, that ball was going a little bit towards the right of the goal. It might have taken a bit of an effort to maybe center it and try to get that strike for Army. We'll get a corner kick here. And looks like it'll be Tommy Yeager who will attempt to put it in, getting the left-footed kicker in. Marcos Arroyo normally doing those duties. Here comes the corner kick, headed out by Air Force. Battle in front of the net. Army with the ball. They're going to try a strike, setting it up. They are onside. Here's a feed off to the right side. Yarashak with the ball being chased out of bounds. He goes into the cadet wing along with Ben Kern. Make a correction, that was number 5, Tanner Vosvik, who almost had that strike. Number 5, Tanner Vosvik. Well, I'll tell you, the intensity picks up a little more here in the latter stages. Air Force with some real near misses in this match, and Army trying to capitalize as the ball is headed out. Yarashak had it for a moment. Yarashak still has it, now being shoved away. This is going to be Trey Puyats who rides him a little bit. Here's Ryan Ward, kicked out by Army. Ryan will throw it in play. Feeding off to the right side. They'll try to center. Cameron Dooley. It's off the chest. Again, Dooley. Dooley trying to work his way through traffic. On sides. Once again, they continue to battle it. Dooley and number 18, Grayson Knockin having a little go. Here is Air Force in possession of the ball. They try to center it. That ball, I think, was partially blocked. Coming over to retrieve is Yarashak, and he will hit it down. Here is Kern who heads it out. And this one is right almost in the way. And almost a great save by Nick Arseniak, our sports information director here at the Air Force Academy. That's right at you, Nick. Thank goodness for the double-painted glass, I'll tell you that. Here is Kern. Right. Oh, man. Well, we've almost had a couple of plays made here in the booth. Brian German, Nick Arseniak making some effort here. Guarantee if that ball comes to me, I'm hitting the floor, guys. I'm hugging turf. I know what incoming means. Here comes a throw in by Army. Booted out of bounds. Air Force in possession. Can they get anything going here? Army's defense, they've just been denied some real close calls in that goal. In the 43rd minute of the first half, a near miss, and right here with the ball hitting the crossbar, here comes Army. This is number 17 dribbling the football for Army, Nick Williams. Now Air Force gets possession of it. As we come up on the 89th minute of regulation. And it looks like we will be going into overtime again, barring any unforeseen circumstances. Here comes our Air Force. Air Force with an opportunity. Can they get the ball out of... Ball goes out of play. I think fans wanted a foul. 35 seconds left to go, as you can see, and I believe we'll be going into our first overtime of the year for both of these clubs. Remember, the last time these two teams played, back at Clinton Field at the United States Military Academy, it was a scoreless draw. And I think we'll just go the mere formality of playing out the final 15 seconds, barring anything really super exciting.
7, 6, 5, 4.
A nice play by Ryan Ward. And they're just going to fire in the general direction of Chris Britt, and that is how we will end the first 90 minutes of play. Air Force and Army are scoreless. We'll take a break and come back right after this. You're watching Air Force Men's Soccer on the Mountain West Network. Back once again at Cadet Soccer Stadium, where we have played 90 minutes of football. Nothing decided between Army and Air Force in this opening match of the 2015 season between the two service academies. A quick look at the stats as Air Force has had 16 shots as opposed to 9 by Army, 7 saves by Chris Britt for Army, and only 1 by John Wendt. We're going to send you now to the East Gymnasium, give you an opportunity to get a live look-in at the Air Force Academy women's volleyball team. They are playing nationally ranked Arizona State University, and as you can see there on your screen, we are in the first set, and Air Force leading it 22-21. Air Force serving. Let's go ahead and maybe take a look at this volley and see how this transpires. The Air Force women trying to go 1 and 2. Looked like a kill there by the Arizona State. And as a result, the Sun Devils and Air Force tied at 22-22. Air Force women, as we mentioned, 1 and 2 as they defeated Northeastern in 4 sets. We'll just kind of keep it here and give you all a chance to perhaps watch some of the action, some of the sports, 27 collegiate sports. That looked like a kill for Air Force. Or maybe it went long. I guess it went a little bit long, 23-22, in favor of the Sun Devils of Arizona State. Once again, let's kind of brief you on some of the statistical information. We've already given you the shots on goal, saves by period, 4 in the first by Army, 3 in the second, and really for Air Force goalie John Wendt, he's only had to have 1 save, and that coming back in the first half. So he's had a fairly quiet night in the goal for the Air Force Academy, and a lot of that being due to the Falcon defense. Corner kicks 9-6 in favor of Army, and the fouls 16-11 in favor of Air Force. We've had a couple of yellow cards administered, 1 to each side. So we will prepare to begin the 10-minute overtime period, but before we do, we'll remind you that you are watching Air Force Men's Soccer on the Mountain West Network. At Cadet Soccer Stadium, we're set to begin the first overtime period. Once again, a look at that beautiful Colorado moon, full moon here in the mountains. And it has been a game of some real physical action. As we mentioned, we've already had 2 yellow cards administered in this match by referee Chris Levesque, 1 for each side. So here we go, the 10-minute overtime period between Air Force and Army, and Air Force will get possession of the ball. Sending it high and into the crowd. And Army will get possession of the ball as the throw-in will be conducted on the backside of the pitch. Here is a lob headed out by Air Force. No surprise there. That looked like a soft lob, and Air Force was able to get possession of that. Here's Puyats coming to the near side of the field. Trey Puyats to Ben Kern. Kern sending the ball back. Cameron Dooley with the touch. Air Force looking for that game-ending strike. Ball going out of bounds, and ball maintained possession by Air Force. Another throw in. Trying to get something going here. They try to center. Army heading it out. Here is Ben Kern. Army gets possession of the ball, sends it high. Coming near midfield, battle for the ball. Army has possession. This is Gary as Had a foul call. That should be foul number. Take a look here and see what the foul situation is. For Army, that should be their 14th foul. And an opportunity for Air Force to perhaps get the strike which will end the match. Joey Haug will be the one that will be putting it in play. Let's see if he'll try to get it to Kern. Nope, they're going to try and send it deep. Lots of traffic. Here comes Britt to make the play. Down he goes. And Britt will hitch up the socks and come out and make the play. Here comes the throw into Army. Marcos Arroyo sending it off to the left side. Tommy Yeager down on the deep side of the Air Force pitch, but Air Force should be able to clear it out. Headed up and out. Let's see where they will award the football. And looks like it will be Ben Kern with the throw in for Army. Kern getting it back. Kern dribbling. Left side looking for an opening. Moving it off to the right side. It's off the chest. This looks like number 26. This is Austin Doing on the far side of the pitch. He's being leaned on by number 3, Tommy Yeager. And the ball goes out of play. Corner, Ben Kern, I think, will put it in play from the corner. Air Force are trying. Shot on the side of the net. Britt putting it away. Let's see who made the strike. Zach Hill with the 20th shot of the match for Air Force. Tucker Axhoy will put it in from the corner. Falcons looking for the strike, which will end it. Jensen looking for the shot. Blocked by Army. Out of bounds it'll go. And once again, another corner kick coming. And Joey Haug looks like he will put the ball in play. Now it's starting to sound like a soccer crowd. Ole, 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 yeah. The fans listening in Brazil are quite familiar with that. South America in particular, I guess. Here comes the play. This is Ben Kern. Kern trying to center. Kern blocked by Army. Great play again by the cadets of Army. Christian Clark with a block. Player of the year defensively for Army. Headed up by Air Force. Britt making another stop. And that looked like that might have been deflected from our angle by Christian Luke Young, but Britt was able to come out there and make the play. We've played 94 minutes. Nothing has been decided. Cadets of Army with the ball. Air Force trying to get something, but it's taken away by Army. Christian Clark. Should be a foul. I think Tommy Yeager, and we have a player down. Is that Puyats? I believe it is. Trey Puyats sitting down. Might have a brief stoppage of play, so let's take a break while we remind you that you are watching Air Force men's soccer on the Mountain West Network. You see the time in the first overtime period, and Army will have possession of the football. Tanner Vosvik getting set perhaps to put it in play. These two teams played to a scoreless draw in double overtime. Here's a long pop. Went going up high, and I think he might have deflected it over the net. He also might have gone into the net as well. John Went making the play.
Substitution, checking back in number 8, Alex Yaroshak.
Another substitution coming in. Alex Yaroshak coming in for the Black Knights of Army. There's a header missed by the Falcons. Army will try to reload. And the ball goes out of play. Throw in by Army. Could this be the break that they're looking for right here? Here comes the throw in. Here is Kern. Kern sending it high. Looks like they're trying to center. Army will head it out. Once again, Air Force reloading. Both of these teams looking for that one strike that will settle the issue here on a Saturday night here at Cadet Soccer Stadium at the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. Trey Puyatz will relinquish the ball to Joey Haug. Haug will throw it in, getting some pressure, bumped by one of the Black Knights. It goes out. Black Knights say, we've got the ball. Let's see if the official agrees. He does not, so it'll be the Falcons' ball near the corner. Here comes the throw-in. Lob headed out by Army. Again headed out by Army. Air Force trying to center. They may have an opportunity here. Blocked by Air Force on that play. Here is Haug. Haug dribbling on that left side. Kind of a weak kick there. Army has an opportunity to clear, and they do. Down the pitch it comes. It's going to be pulled in by Cameron Dooley, who will send it back to Went. I think a lot of people might have thought, Cameron, what are you doing? You're shooting towards your own goal. Well, it is a full moon, folks. I mean, you know, strange things happen out here. Gus Jensen had that ball. They're looking for a foul. They're going to get it, I think. Looking at the foul situation, 19 called on Air Force, 14 by Army, on Army. And if this first 10-minute period is not settled, we'll do it again. We'll get an Army substitution, I do believe, here momentarily. It'll be Alex Clark. Here's a long kick. That's kind of off the mark and out of play.
Checking back in number 26, Alex Clark.
Went will put the ball in play for Air Force as he sends a high left-footed kick, headed out by Army, out of bounds. Air Force will have it. Ben Kern will throw it in and throws a long lob pass, again headed out by Army. Here's Gus Jensen with the ball. Sends it back. Cameron Dooley. Here they go to Ben Kern, up ahead. He's on sides. Dribbling off to the right side. Blocked by Army. Again, they'll try. Still on sides, trying to center it. Kicked away by Army once again. Again, Air Force being frustrated. They'll try again. A lot of traffic in front of the goal. Army will clear it out. Knocked down by Kern. Everybody wanted a foul call. Nothing doing. Crossing shot and a crossing pass. No good. Oh, my goodness gracious. A lot of action here in the final seconds of this first overtime period. And it looks like we will go 100 minutes and still nothing decided. But it has not been lacking in action, I'll tell you that right now. We've had some bumps and bangs around these goals tonight. Can anybody get it done? Here is Brett with 9 seconds left to go in the first OT. And that's just about going to do it. So at the end of the first overtime, as you can see, nothing has been decided. Army nothing, Air Force nothing. We will take a break and come back with more soccer action. You're watching Air Force Men's Soccer on the Mountain West Network. Once again from Cadet Soccer Stadium at the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, you take a look at the Air Force Falcons huddled around their head coach, Doug Hill. 100 minutes have been played in this match, nothing decided. Same script as last year, should we go the final 10 minutes of this match. at Clinton Field at the United States Military Academy. Both of these schools played to a scoreless draw. As we take a quick look at the stats, 18 shots taken by Air Force as opposed to 10 for Army, 8 saves by Chris Britt, only 1 by John Wendt. 18 fouls to 12, Air Force with the 18. Corner kicks, Army with 9, Air Force with 8. And here we go with the final 10 minutes, second overtime of the match. And we'll see how things play out. I think one thing that both of these coaches will walk away from, they have to be happy with what they have seen defensively from their clubs. And I think the confidence level for Chris Britt has got to be elevated, getting his first start of this season. And of course, as we mentioned, replacing Winston Bolt, who was commissioned as a second lieutenant back in May. 24 shutouts in his career. That's an academy record. Same might be held for John Wendt, who's got to be drawing a lot more confidence as he is getting his first start of the year, third of his career. Here's Army. Army trying to wrap it up. Gary with a set, trying to center, nothing there, and it's out of play. Cody Gary trying to get the pass which would end the match, give Army their winning strike. Not to be. And John Wendt will put it in play. We are just underway in the second and final overtime. Ball being headed out. Chris Britt says, I'll take it. Here comes Army. Cameron Nickham. Taken away by Air Force. Air Force. This is Gus Jensen trying to send it ahead. Jen being shoved in the back. Rather, it was Puyats to Jensen. Down the field they come. Nice tackle being made by Air Force. So they may want a foul on that, and they may get one. Cameron Dooley, I think, with a sliding tap. Nope, I don't think they called anything there. Little battle on the sideline between Air Force and Army. Air Force coming away from it. We'll have another foul called, I do believe. Is it a foul or did that ball go out of play? Nope, it's a foul. 20th foul called on the Falcons. Tommy Yeager looks like he will be assigned the duties on the kick. Left-footed booter, sending it towards the goal. Going up high is John Wendt to make the play.
Your attention, a pair of Toyota car keys have been found in the restroom. Come on up to the press box if you're missing a set of Toyota car keys.
Well, we do it all here at the Air Force Academy. We even look for your car keys. And if the car's in good shape, we ought to maybe take a little spin after the game. Army with the football in possession on the backside of their pitch. Or rather on the taken away now by Air Force as we volleyball the thing back and forth. Here come the Falcons. Here come the Falcons, kicked away by Army. Up ahead, is he onside? Sure is. Out comes Wendt to make the play. And the man that was possibly trying to put it away was Cody Gary. Here come the Falcons on the attack as they send it downfield. Back deep. Chris Britt kicking it out. Less than 7 minutes to go in the second and final overtime. Here's Captain Ben Kern to throw it in. Puyats had it. Now Air Force kind of setting up the deep side of the pitch. Here's Tommy Yeager who has it. I think we might have had a foul. Did we not? A player down. We had a player down for Air Force out of Austin Guerrero, but I think he's right back up. And we will get a foul called, and this is going to be Austin Guerrero who will send it into play for Air Force. Here's the deep kick. They head it out once again, Army. Oh, they have been outstanding when they have been threatened deep in the pitch. They have just played an outstanding defense. Here's Ben Kern trying to send it across. Kicked out by Army. Trey Puyats headed out by Army again. We had another player down. It's a foul called, by the way. We'll have a foul called. Air Force will get it. Here is Gus Jensen. Air Force trying to end it. Try to send it ahead. Black Knights have it. Army. Oh, they score! They score! It's over. Air Force with the strike. Air Force with the strike. Oh, look at the scene on the field. Absolutely pandemonium here at Cadet Soccer Stadium. Air Force wins it 1-0 in overtime. The second overtime. Believe it'll officially be the 105th minute. And we are trying to see who got the goal the minute he got the winning strike. As you can see, the crowd just erupted as Air Force defeats Army in the second overtime, 1-0. And we're still trying to see who got that strike. Well, I think all you have to do is probably see who they're picking up and carrying off the field. We're also going to see if we can get a replay. All right, A.J. Esparza is who we are being told got the winning goal. You see the pandemonium erupting as A.J. Esparza gets the first goal of the year for Air Force this season, and it gives them the victory 1-0 over Army. Let's take a look at it again. Set up nicely. Kern to Esparza, and there it was. So give the assist to Kern. And Esparza putting it past Chris Britt to give the Air Force Academy Falcons a 1-0 win. Look at the reaction on the field. We're going to take a break, give you some final numbers when we return right after this. You're watching Air Force Men's Soccer on the Mountain West Network. Back once again at Cadet Soccer Stadium. You see the final result in the second overtime. The Air Force Academy defeats Army 1-0 on a goal by A.J. Esparza in the 104th minute of play. Give the assist to Ben Kern. We are going to try and get A.J. Esparza up here in the booth as the crowd's starting to filter out of Cadet Soccer Stadium, but we got a chance. You have to see the absolute pandemonium that occurred right after that winning strike by A.J. Esparza. That is his first goal of the year. And here he is. Here is the man of the hour, the gentleman that scored in the 104th minute, A.J. Esparza. Wow. I'll just say this, A.J. Wow, what a finish.
It was a hell of a game. Great game. Thank you, all the fans, for coming out. We battled for you guys. We knew we were going to go hard, and I'm glad I got the goal in the end because it was well-deserving of the team.
Let's talk about the play as we'll have a chance here to maybe look at the replay. Talk about the goal right here, AJ, as we see it on the replay.
I went in for there on that header there, and I knew the ball was going to come out, so I was just waiting for my chance to get a rebound. We had a lot off the post today, so I was waiting for that, just that bounce. You know, Coach talked about it at our halftime speech, and we talked about the halftime speech and just get ready for that rebound, and I got it, and it was well-deserving. I'm really happy. Really
Ben
happy.
Kern with a nice assist, but I'll tell you what, AJ, how'd you get out of that mob scene that surrounded you?
I have no idea. I still need to fix my shoe. It's still not on right, but we worked hard. I'm really happy. I don't know how I got out of it, but it's one of the best moments of my life.
Once again, we'll take a look at that setup and give you fans a chance to look. As Ben Kern, there's AJ Esparza, and it's in the corner. How physical was the match tonight, Jay? It looked like a lot of physicality going on out there as we watched the scene, and you disappeared rather quickly, needless to say.
Yes,
How physical was it out there?
Anytime you play a service academy, it's going to be tough. You know, we're all out there sporting troops and everything, and we're going to go in hard. You know, it means more to beat service academy, especially Army. It's the first time we beat them since I've been here, so I'm really excited, and I'm very happy.
Well, of course, last year you played to a scoreless draw. That's all forgotten right now. And as you say, your first victory over Army since you've been a cadet here. What does this do for you the rest of the way? Now you've got a very long road trip. You won't be back until October.
Yeah, we're going to be away pretty much every weekend until October, like you said. And this is just momentum here to keep going. Hopefully have a great start like you did last year and then finish strong in the end. But this is a good starting point, a good starting point for our program this year.
AJ, I know there's a lot of people that want to take a curtain call. I know there's a few people that want to talk to you. Thank you for stopping by. AJ Esparza, who scores the winning goal in the 104th minute of the match on an assist from Ben Kern. As a result, the score winds up in the second overtime, Air Force 1 and Army 0. Let's take one more break, and we'll be back to wrap things up. You're watching Air Force Men's Soccer on the Mountain West Network. And once again, the final score, Air Force defeating Army in the second overtime 1-0 on a goal by A.J. Esparza, his first of the year. That came at the 104th minute of the match. Now let's quickly take a look at the final numbers. Shots by period, Air Force favored in that field, 19-10 for the game. As far as saves by period, 8 by Army, 1 by Air Force, but the one that got away goes by Chris Britt, courtesy of A.J. Esparza. Fouls called, 19 for Air Force, 14 against Army. Well, folks, that is the way that you want to start the season to go. And for the Air Force Academy, they now embark on a long road trip, as they won't be back until October the 11th when they play Incarnate Word in a match here at the Cadets Soccer Stadium. But a long road trip ahead. As far as some of the things that we saw in the game, obviously the defense was certainly a story. But in the overtime, A.J. Esparza, right man, right spot, as he gets the goal in the 104th minute to give Army a 1-0 victory over the Cadets of Army. Our special thanks to our entire cast and crew who made our broadcast possible tonight on Falcon Vision, including Brian German, Adam Drake, Connor Putman, and of course our special thanks to Air Force Academy Sports Information Director Nick Arseniak. For our entire cast and crew, I'm Jeffrey Orman. Our attendance tonight, 3,683. We thought that might be a school record here at Cadet Soccer Stadium, and indeed it was. Well, we'll speak to you next time here on the Falcon Vision, here on the Mountain West Network. I believe our next soccer broadcast will be against Incarnate Word on October the 11th. So for our entire cast and crew, we want to thank you all for watching around the nation and around the world. And from Cadet Soccer Stadium here at the Air Force Academy, I'm Jeffrey Orman. Good night, everyone.